The food forest looks quite different in the winter time, as most of the plants out here are deciduous. They lose their foliage versus in the summertime when everything's nice and lush and green. As you can see, this main entrance to the furthest part of the garden here, this is a cattle panel, and I pruned back the wisteria, and you can really see the structure now of how the wisteria has just wrapped around the entire panel, creating a nice rigid living structure. I really like this. We've got an orange tree right behind this, and I just recently opened up this area. This fence to the chicken coop was actually connected to the post here, and I wanted more openness so that I could access the fruits of the orange tree once they start to come on. But as we move forward, I just want to share with you some of the different structure, because you can really see it now on some of these plants. Here's an autumn olive. This is a cold hardy berry shrub that also fixes nitrogen into the soil, creates nitrogen root nodules that will help to feed itself and surrounding plants. Here we've got a pomegranate tree, and you can see all the foliage is dropped. I've done some pruning, and also got a little cage that I created in here, helping to spread out the center of the tree. We got some rain last night finally, and the chickens are out here now enjoying the little bit of sunshine we got. We got some more rain coming into the area tomorrow. Here you can see the Peter's honey fig. If you've been following along the channel, then you know just how abundant this variety of fig tree is. I pruned this back to just the main trunk last year, and all the fruiting occurred on the first year's growth. This year I've left a bit more of the second year wood, so we may get even a larger harvest this year. But you can see how I pruned this tree down to about 6 feet, and I've thinned out the center a bit. So this Florida King peach tree here still has a few leaves remaining. They're all ready to just fall off. But as you can see, I really took this tree down to about 5 feet. It's such a vigorous grower. You really got to keep it in check. It's a wonderful varietal, and we've got some nice budding happening already on the tree. So really looking forward again to some luscious peaches and just keeping this tree more managed. In the previous years, it had grown a bit too large and was shading out some of these other trees, like this white nectarine over here, which I brought all the way down to about 4 feet. So I know a lot of people watching this are probably wondering, what the heck are you doing trimming these trees down so much? Well, what I'm doing is keeping these trees pruned down so that they're truly dwarf, and almost managing them like you would a shrub rather than having a big bulky tree. But as we enter into year 7 of this project, not all these trees are 7 years old. These trees are actually only about 4 years old, and some of the trees furthest to the fence, like the fig trees back there, are the 7-year-old trees that were put in at the beginning of the project. Now, if you want to learn more about backyard orchard culture, pruning trees, spacing, and all that sort of thing, I'd highly recommend you go check out Dave Wilson Nursery's channel. It's known as Fruit Tube. He's got a lot of great information on that channel, teaching you how to grow these fruit trees, prune them, treat them for disease, and all that sort of thing. So go check it out. I'll put a link below this video so you can go get some inspiration. And if you're thinking about growing some fruit trees this year, go for it. There's really nothing more rewarding. They're a beautiful, low maintenance plant, provides an abundance of food. You can see in the background over there, I've got some sugar cane. That has so far survived our relatively mild winter that we've had this year. So we'll see how that goes, if that's able to spring back to life this coming spring. But bare root fruit tree season is upon us. Now is the time, regardless of where you're at, to get those fruit trees on order. So if your local nursery is starting to stock them, pick them up. The sooner the better. Some of the sought-after varieties will run out. Now, bare root versus potted trees, there are going to be certain varieties like avocados and citrus which are always going to come potted. But for the majority of fruit trees, bare root is the way to go. You want to get them literally when they're just a bare root and a whip. That way all the new growth that occurs on site, and you get a much stronger structure that way, healthier plant. Here we've got a 2-in-1 planting, planted about 18 inches apart originally. Now that the trunks have grown out, it looks like closer to a foot. But this is a Santa Rosa plum and a plum cot. Already have done very well for me. And you can see the key to really making this type of a planting work is to prune appropriately so you're not getting branches crossing into each other. You want to keep the center pretty open so that it can get full sun and photosynthesis. And you'll end up with a really nice hedge-like tree that not only provides an abundance of food, but can also be used as somewhat like a privacy hedge. Now occasionally I'll do some training on these trees, like you can see over here on this pear tree. I used this old piece of hose and ran some wire through it just so that I wouldn't rough up the actual branch, and I've got that tied off to a stake. and that's just helping to bring the branch outward a bit, as it tends to want to just grow straight up on these pear trees. Trees like this Loquat have this beautiful tropical look to them, and they're one of the first plants to start setting fruit. You can see we've got some fruits forming there. Some more over there. This tree I've been keeping in check, but another beautiful specimen. Evergreen Works doubles as not just a food source, but also as a beautifier and a privacy hedge. I've been going to town eating greens like crazy. One of my New Year's resolutions was to trim down a bit, and so what I've been doing is predominantly consuming salads and smoothies right now. Feeling great now. I had a headache the first couple days of the year, a little bit of detox, but everything's looking great as far as the greens go, and having plenty of it here allows me to take a leaf from here, a leaf from here, so on and so forth. So you never really notice that one particular plant has got too many leaves missing. So everything continually looks full. I really like that. So plant yourself a lot of greens, variety of perennial greens if you can. I'm getting ready to prune back some of these goji berries. They produced absolutely wonderfully last year, and I'm hoping for the same results this year, but I'm going to do a bit of thinning and pruning down. See all the different shoots coming up from that one plant. I'm going to be thinning that out a bit. Well, that's going to do it for now, everybody. Hope you're having a great start to your new year, and you're already getting going on accomplishing all those gardening goals for 2018. Until next time, this is Dan from plantabundance.com. Wishing you all a great rest of your day. I'll be talking to you again soon. Take care.